Good morning, everyone. Before we begin, I just want to highlight that yesterday, unfortunately, in the city of Philadelphia, we had another tragic shooting, and I think it's all in the consciousness of all of our minds. And wanted to express my sincere thoughts and prayers with the mayor of Philadelphia, who I think was here in the last few days, and just re-highlight the need for action in this area. I want to thank everyone for joining us at this early hour for the Mayor's and Business Leaders Breakfast. Before we get started this morning, I'd like to thank Destinations International for their sponsorship. Now, please welcome Tom Cochran, the CEO and Executive Director of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, to the podium.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Everybody feeling okay? Well, I just want to say that I won the costume contest last night, but it was a tie. Two mayors, tied with me, and I want to cede to them. I'm a staff guy, and congratulate the two mayors that tied, so we'll declare them winners. We have 135 members of the Business Council, and we appreciate so much your participation. When Mayor Suarez was vice president, Mayor Fisher asked him to be the liaison with the Business Council, and we want to thank Mayor Suarez for his leadership. We have had probably 15 or 20 Zooms with Mayor Suarez, with eight or 10 of you on a Zoom talking about your companies and your service. So I want to thank Mayor Suarez for his support for the Business Council. It was in 2015 that Donovan Pepper co-chaired with Mayor Palmer the steering committee to announce an exciting opportunity for the Business Council. And so what we've done since then is we have published a Business Council's best practice report. In February this year, we asked the Business Council members to send in their best of the best. And so we are pleased to present to you the 2022 Conference of Mayors Continued Best Practice Report, Mayors and Businesses Driving the Economic Growth. This will be mailed to 1,400 mayors in the United States. It'll also be available on usmayors.org in the next couple of weeks. And we want to thank the 33 members of the Business Council for helping us do this year. Okay, we have 20 new Business Council members that have joined. And we had 27 last year. And, we went through the pandemic, and we were very concerned about whether the Business Council would stay with us in a virtual situation, and they did. 27 last year, 20 this year since the winter meeting. And so we want to thank you for joining us. Can you all please stand so we recognize you? Thank you. We have 22 members who have been with us for 15 years. So we want to also thank you for your continued support. And we have 8 platinum partners, and platinum is better than silver and better than gold. And we thank the platinum partners. We have 8, we need 80, and we will continue to work on that. Seriously, thank you for your support, platinum partners. The Business Council has a steering committee, and they meet among themselves to give us guidance as to their needs and how we can serve them. In elections for 22-23, Mayor's Business Council Steering Committee was held earlier this spring. I want to congratulate the new elected co-chair, Charles Hales, Urban Planning Cross-Sector Director at HDR. He will serve from June 22 to June 24. We want to also recognize the 5 newly elected steering committee members Todd McIntyre, Atkins, North Carolina. Ganesha Martin, Mark 43, Michael Simon, Zen City, Mark Klupp, MasterCard, and Thomas Tillis, ACOM. Thank you for your steering committee. I want to thank this steering committee, the other members, for their continued support of the Business Council. Please allow me now to introduce the co-chair, David Goldwater. David is Vice President, Senior Policy Advisor at Stantec. David?
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate the opportunity to be here this morning. First off, I want to just thank the leadership of the Conference of Mayors, President Suarez, First Vice President Mayor Shivi, and newly elected Second Vice President Andy Ginther. Appreciate all the support of the leadership of the Conference of Mayors and Tom and the staff for all their support for the Business Council. I have met with many of the new Business Council members this week, but certainly that's a big part of what the co-chairs are here for. So if we can be here to support you, help you learn how to navigate the conference, make sure you're maximizing the benefit for your organizations and the return on an investment that you make here at the organization, please come find me. I'm here until Tuesday, happy to sit down with any one of you and be available to support you in any way. Hope you enjoy the rest of the event in this wonderful community of Reno, and come find me if you need to see me. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you. Thank you, David. Thank you so much. Now I would like to invite outgoing co-chair Tracy Hester, Director of State and Local Government Affairs at Target, to the podium for a special presentation and a few remarks. So, go right ahead.
Oh, sure. Good morning, everyone. I want to thank you for attending the Mayor and Business Leaders Breakfast, and thank you to my Target team and the Minnesota mayors for sitting right up front and coming here bright and early. I definitely appreciate you. I'm Tracy Hester, Director of State and Local Government Affairs for Target Corporation. At Target, we are honored to be a long-standing partner of the U.S. Conference of Mayors. For Target, public-private partnerships are not only the right thing to do from a community engagement perspective, it's also critical to our long-term business success. Yesterday, Laisha Ward announced the winners of the Police Reform and Racial Justice Grants. They were New Orleans, Irving, Texas, and Central Falls, Rhode Island. These cities are great examples of cities taking action to lead sustainable change on racial equity and social justice. And I'm pleased to announce that the Police Reform and Racial Justice Grants have been extended to 2023. Yes. And we'll be accepting applications next year. As I reflect over my 2 years as co-chair of the steering committee of the Business Council, my heart is heavy for this nation. The communities where we all live, work, and raise our family have faced significant challenges. COVID, confronting racial reckoning and civil unrest, and the unthinkable loss of mass shootings in so many cities around our country. One of my favorite things to say is leadership is not in the absence of fear, it's the ability to move through it, and that's what the conference did during this time. Thank you, Mayor Suarez, Tom Cochran, Jerry Powell, and Judy Reed, and my fellow co-chair, David Goldwater. I'm so grateful to you and proud of all the work that we've accomplished. Even through Zoom and online, we adapted to get the work done. The steering committee has worked with them. We listened, we learned, we co-created solutions together for both mayors and business leaders, like the Business Council webinars, the meetings with the Mayor Suarez, and the Business Council Best Practices Report. It's really a model for civil discourse that offers hope and opportunity for real and lasting change. Lastly, I'd like to congratulate the new members of the steering committee for your leadership and your service to the U.S. Conference of Mayors. We had so many applicants this year, so this is one stellar group of business leaders that are ready to partner with the Conference of Mayors. My challenge to you is to reach higher and demonstrate how you can bring the Business Council goals to life within the Conference of Mayors and the communities that they serve. We've made progress, but there's still more work to do, so your work continues. On behalf of the Target team and the Business Council Steering Committee, thank you again for your service and enjoy the conference.
I'm very pleased to present this plaque to you for helping us so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Can we get a picture?
Yes, thank you.
That's it. Thank you. The president will be out shortly.
Thank you, Tracy, for your leadership and service on the Mayor's Business Council Steering Committee. We look forward to working with David, the newly elected co-chair, Charles Hales of HDR, and all of the steering committee members in the coming year. And a big thank you to Tom for all the work you and your team did in pulling this conference together. Thank you, Tom. We all know the value of the travel and hospitality industry to our cities. It's especially important to my own city of Miami. This morning, Destinations International, the leading organization promoting travel and tourism to our cities, is going to lead a discussion on new ways we should be thinking of working with our Visitors and Convention Bureau and the travel industry. Jack Johnson, their Chief Advocacy Officer, will moderate this discussion and introduce the panelists. Jack.
Morning, everyone. My name is Jack Johnson, and as he said, he's Chief Advocacy Officer for Destinations International. We're the international nonprofit for destination organizations, things that you probably know more likely as convention and visitor bureaus or tourism bureaus or destination marketing organizations. We are worldwide, but we have 550 members here in the United States, including Houston, who I'd love to bring out, Mayor Sylvester Turner, one of our favorite mayors, and Michael Heckman, who is CEO of the Houston First Corporation, who is the destination organization for Houston. So, Mayor Turner. First of all, let me put glasses on because I'm old. I talked to you about destination organizations being CVBs. A great example of this is the Reno Sparks Convention and Visitor Bureau, also known as Visit Reno Tahoe, who have assisted with this convention. I do want to thank Mayor Hillary Sheevy for not only being a great host to this conference, but a huge advocate for travel and tourism and understanding the role that travel and tourism plays in a dynamic, attractive place to live and work. This morning, we want to spend a few moments speaking about what Destinations International sees as the evolving role of a destination organization. They are no longer solely focused on putting heads in beds. Instead, they are focused on a larger mission of brand management and visitor development, whether they stay in a hotel or not, whether they're there for leisure tourism or not. It's as though it is through this that they help develop opportunities and building quality of life that benefits all the members of a community. We tell our members that while visitors are a critical ingredient to a community's success, and hotels and restaurants and attractions are important, that actually the residents are their #1 customer. So the destination organization really needs to have a community focus. Every one of your communities must compete with every other community across the globe for your share of the world's attention, customers, talent, investment, which is why destination organizations should be working with as a critical element of your economic development strategy. To complete this, people need to actually compete. People actually need to be aware of your community, to have a positive impression, to want to visit that community, to experience that culture, and frankly, to meet the people. Through achieving a clearly developing and articulating and managing the community brand, destination organizations actually, through promoting, marketing, selling, and engaging with potential visitors over and over again, actually push the image of the city across the board. If you can develop this brand message that accurately reflects everything in your community, if you capture people's attention, then you've created a place that people want to visit. And if you've done that, that means you've created a place that people want to live. And if you've done that, that means you've created a place where people want to work. And if you've done that, you've created a place where employers are going to want to be. It all starts with a strong community brand, and it's all followed up with a visit. That means that destination organizations are not just your CVB, not just a tourism organization. They are actually a community asset, responsible for programs promoting the community not only as an attractive travel destination, but as an engaging place to live and work and experience. In other words, it's no longer about putting heads in beds. Now, I've asked Mayor Turner here and Michael Hegman to join me in this contribution because Houston is one of several cities that are really kind of knocking it out of the park here. So, Mr. Mayor, let me start with you. Trying to sum up any city can be difficult, and Houston obviously is no exception. But I'm captivated by your city's vision statement. Houston offers opportunity for all. It celebrates its diversity of people, economy, culture, and places. Houston promotes healthy and resilient communities through smart investments, dynamic partnerships, education, and innovation. Houston is a place where anyone can prosper and feel at home. It's a message about belonging. So it's a great brand. So tell me how it all comes together and it makes it work for Houston.
Well, thanks. And Jack, it's good to be with you and with Michael Heckman, who is the CEO and president of Houston First, which is responsible for branding and marketing our city. Look, let me just say, I'm not here to say that Houston is the only city that's doing what we're doing. There are many great cities here that are doing it. But I charged Michael several years ago to come up with a brand for the city as a whole. We had our business community that had its theme, and as we did our international trade missions, they were promoting certain things of the city of Houston, which was true. But at the same time, and then there were others that were doing certain things, but it wasn't what I call an integrated, robust sort of branding for the whole city. And so what we highlight is the people themselves. Give you a short example. We went after the World Petroleum Congress. Right. It had not been in the United States in some 33 years. And everyone knows Houston is the energy capital of the world, okay? And so when we went to Bahrain and was selling the city, what I said to my team, you know, everyone knows we're the energy capital. Let's tell them something that they don't know about the city. And we spent a whole lot of time talking about the people themselves. We didn't spend a whole lot of time talking about the diversity of the city, though we are the most diverse in the United States. We spent a lot of time talking about how inclusive the city was. That regardless of who you are, your ethnicity, your socioeconomic background, who you love, it was a city that embraced and a city that wanted everyone to feel as though they had an opportunity to be at the table. So we focus on that aspect. And then lastly, in talking about people, you know, I said, look, one of the reasons why they asked me to come on this to try to sell the city is because the city of Houston went for, this is the third time the city was going for the Congress. We failed the first 2 times. And so I would be a good example because I ran for mayor 3 times. I lost the first 2 times. So hell, I won the third. So I'm here in Bahrain because they, you know, I can relate. But it is about branding, marketing, and showcasing the city beyond what people already know about your city, but a lot of the things that people don't know.
Yeah, I agree. 3rd time's the charm, definitely. Michael, you've got the charge to carry all this out. How does this integrate into your branding, your sales, your marketing strategy?
Yeah, we really infuse it throughout everything that we do. And I think that the mayor really recognized a couple of years ago when he gave us this direction, which is Houston's a big city. It's like a lot of big cities in the United States. There's a lot of things to talk about. You know, we're over 600 square miles. There's a lot of different aspects. So how do you boil that down into one singular brand? What we called a unified branding process. We weren't calling it a rebrand. We weren't rebranding the city. What we were doing is taking all of these different aspects, whether it be talent, recruitment, economic development, tourism, and it all had to flow from one brand essence. And we really did that work, and it was the mayor's charge. He said, look, you know, we have to, regardless of what we're talking about, we have to sound the same, right? We all have statistics about visitors and business recruitment and economic development, but it all has to flow from the same place. So we really did that work. We did 78 stakeholder interviews within our city, diversity of thought, opinion, background. We didn't just interview the top 5 CEOs in the city. We wanted a broad perspective of the way people see Houston, as well as our competitor cities. And we came back with what are those things that differentiate us, and they have to be authentic to Houston. You can't just say a word, you just can't slap a tagline on something and just say, well, now that's us. It has to be reflective of our diversity, who we are as a people, and ultimately that's what we were able to coalesce around. And you won't see that as a complete change. You will see it as we just finished a mission to Mexico. The mayor led our first international mission just recently, a month or two ago, down to Mexico. And I will say that we did talk like that as a city. We are one city, whether it be business recruitment or tourism, and the way that we talked about that to the people that we were meeting with and the media. And I think that was something that the mayor saw years and years ago, that when we were doing some of these things, it all kind of sounded a little bit different, but we were one city. And we had to do that for how we position Houston.
Yeah, building off of that, you were an oil and gas center. You're now an energy center. We heard yesterday you're a leader in climate change and all the industries that are going along with that. You're healthcare, manufacturing, aeronautics, transportation. You've all coming together under one umbrella, under one message. But even beyond that, you're actually positioning Houston as a gateway city on the international stage. Certainly a gateway from the United States to Latin America. Can you talk a little bit more about how you actually integrate that approach, how you're actually trying, that's the goal as you build out your strategies?
Well, 1 in 4 Houstonians is foreign born. So they come from outside of the United States, they come to this city. And what we have said and what I've said to Houston First is that we have to market that. We have to utilize that diversity within our city, so when we are going on these international trips or trying to bring these conferences that are here, we showcase that diversity. When people come to our city, it's important for them to see beyond downtown. So let's make sure that we are highlighting things that are beyond downtown and encouraging people to be out there. And then we don't run away from the challenges that we face. Since I've been mayor, we've faced 7 federally declared disasters in the city of Houston. Hurricane Harvey, and we used the convention center to house over 10,000 of our neighbors in that convention center. But I would tell you, 2 days after we had a convention that was scheduled, 6,000 people were supposed to be there, and they called, said, Mayor, should we cancel or should we come? I said, no, we'll be ready. And we were able to effectively, get people reacclimated back into their homes. And 2 days later, the convention center was turned around, and those 6,000 people were in there. And so what we've said is that, yeah, we faced a lot of challenges, but the city is highly resilient, that we can bounce back very quickly. And it's because of the diversity and the inclusiveness that exists in our city that we are able to do that each and every time. So we use that even as a marketing tool rather than just highlighting the challenges that exist.
Correct, right? You've used that as a marketing tool?
Absolutely. The mayor has talked about this ever since he's become mayor, and I think a recent example of the way that we've done that, if you're a fan of the show Top Chef on Bravo, the season just concluded, and that was in Houston for the entire season. And when we pitched the producers in Bravo on Houston, they had already been to Texas. They had done a Top Chef Texas. They said, well, why Houston? Why is that different? We've already been to Texas. And so we sent a pitch deck to them that highlighted all of our neighborhoods, highlighted the diversity of our culinary talent, the diversity of our people, that their experience in Houston would be very different than other places that they've been. And I'm proud to say not only did we actually win the business, but they actually used a lot of the pieces from our pitch deck in the show. An Asian night market. They had never done that before. That was something they found in Houston.
And they found another person to be in that Top Chef for one of the features, because I was in that.
You were, indeed. That's why the ratings were so high. If you haven't noticed that, we had record ratings for Top Chef this year.
And I got their email saying, you do look like Denzel.
I thought it was Denzel.
But you showcase your city, and sometimes cities get branded with one label, and Houston was being branded with just being the energy capital of the world. But we are the energy capital of the world, and so much more. But you have to be very intentional in showcasing that and highlighting your city, and bringing people in your city into your whole convention area. They need to see people who are authentic, who are genuine, people who love their city. And then we try to take them out to various places beyond the downtown area. Like I said before, I live in the hood. One of the best barbecue joints in the city is in that hood. And so when you get them away and showcase, and where you're not trying to run away from communities that are underserved, even in your marketing and branding, but you're embracing them, then the city appreciates, they become supportive, and when you take them out, those people in those communities can sell your city better than you can sell it yourself.
And what we saw from this too, and I know that every city faces it, which is, well, what's the tourism message? What's the economic development message? Can we all just get them together? That's really hard. It's a challenge with a lot of my counterparts. This would not have gotten done without the mayor's leadership. He said, look, to our community leaders, we have to do this. And you know, there's this tendency to want to lead with all statistics, right? You know, what the tonnage is at our port and all these other things. You can get to all of that. But if you can't get to the real DNA of what your community is and who the people are, right, you're not going to get to the second step. And I think that's what the mayor intuitively knew and drove through and pushed through for us to be able to really unify that across all of our different sectors in Houston.
It must be working. This past summer, Time magazine included Houston among the world's greatest places, noting Houston is distinctive in their ingenuity, creativity, revitalization,
Say it again. I
and
didn't
reopening.
hear you.
Well, how about this? Recently, Forbes wrote
Okay.
that one of the most diverse cities in the United States, Houston boasts an exciting mix of cultures, food, art, sport, green space to explore. The city's harmonizing diversity is what makes H-Town truly unique. You've been one of the fastest growing cities, and I live in San Antonio, so the whole state's full of them, but you have been the role model there to follow. The brand, is that what's driving people to come?
We tell people that if you can't make it in the city of Houston, you can't make it anywhere. And then we showcase it. I mean, look, I grew up, I was one of 9 kids. Dad died early at 13, mom was a maid who worked at one of the hotels downtown and reared 9 kids. She was the CEO of the Turner household. Never learned how to drive. I don't say that in a disparaging or negative way, but one of those 9 kids from this mom who was a maid who worked at one of the hotels that we want to fill is now the mayor of the 4th largest city in the United States. So I think in branding and marketing the city, we have to talk about the people in the city, and we have to talk about what they've had to experience and how they've overcome it. And quite frankly, I don't think that there's any person better capable of selling this city than the mayors, for example, in this room.
Agreed.
We are in those communities. We are hearing those stories. We know their pains, their triumphs, their victories. And in marketing the city, I think it's important for us to tell it. And the branding needs to be reflective of the entire city and not just one aspect of the city.
Totally agree. And truly, Houston is a place where anyone can prosper and feel at home. You're the prime example.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. We're just about out of time, so at your seats or at the table, everyone, you'll find something like this. It's a copy of Becoming a Community Shared Value, a value-based roadmap for destination organizations to embrace community alignment. It's a value-based approach designed to help your destination organizations follow in the steps of places like Houston, places like Reno, places like Columbus and Louisville, who are also knocking it out of the park. And become an essential investment to develop opportunities and build quality of life that really benefits all the residents in your community. I urge the mayors that are here, the staff that's here, to not only take some time to review this, but take it back to your community, pick up the phone, call your destination organization, and start talking to them and integrating them really into your economic development strategy. Make them the chief branders of your destination. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jack, David, and Tracy for that panel. Now, I am very pleased to welcome to our 90th annual meeting the mayor of Union City, Georgia. In addition to being a strong member of our organization, Mayor Williams has the honor of serving as my counterpart as president of our sister organization, the National League of Cities. The U.S. Conference of Mayors and National League of Cities showed the power of partnership last year when we worked together day and night for months to secure the passage of the $65.1 billion for all American cities through the American Rescue Plan. I know there is much more we can do together, and I'm very pleased to introduce NCL President, my good friend, Mayor Vince Williams.
Well, good morning. Good morning to all of you mayors and you business leaders. We couldn't do it without you. And certainly thank you, Mayor Suarez, for allowing me this opportunity to be here with everyone this morning. Again, my name is Vince Williams, the mayor of Union City, Georgia. 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 Okay? All right. Good to see everyone. It is certainly my privilege to bring greetings to all of you on behalf of the National League of Cities. It is so great to see all of you back together in person for this 90th annual meeting. That's an applause right there. That's an applause right there. You guys are still asleep, I think. But anyway, here in this beautiful, beautiful city of Reno, Nevada, it is certainly great to be here with everyone. It has been a long 2 years of this pandemic, and everyone in this room has led heroically through it all. Many of you, and I just want to say many of you are the ones who truly stepped in when communities needed help the most. And I know some of us haven't had church this morning, but I'm going to give you a little bit. The scripture in Dr. Luke's scripture says, to whom much is given, much will be required. So please remember that. You have been given much, much will be required of you as it relates to your communities. I certainly don't need to tell any of you this, but during this unprecedented crisis, America's strongest leaders have been its local ones. And we're even stronger together. Together, we worked so hard to jump into action and get both the American Rescue Plan Act and the bipartisan infrastructure law passed, but also passed into Congress and written into law. Now, with both pieces of legislation enacted, we finally have the opportunity to reap the benefits of our hard-won efforts to get recovery funds injected directly into our communities. So it's up to us, America's mayors, to put our advocacy into action and use those funds to deliver robust projects and programs that help make this country even better as we get back to our new normal. There is no better place or better time than for the National League of Cities and the U.S. Conference of Mayors to work together to get this critical work done. As mayors, that means partnering to prioritize infrastructure projects that allow us to finally fix our crumbling roads, bridges, and repair our sewer systems and bridge the digital divide. In cities large and small, it means collaborating and sharing ideas about how we can tackle our nation's most pressing issues in the most equitable ways possible. As leaders of our communities, we know what's best for our own cities, and we're ready to roll up our sleeves and get to work. But finding ways to partner and share our ideas with each other is how we really are going to take advantage of all of the opportunities available to us. So to my friend and colleague, Mayor Suarez, I say this to you, sir. The National League of Cities is committed to working with the U.S. Conference of Mayors to prove to this country that local leaders aren't just capable of securing funds for new projects. We're the ones that will get the work done. Together, we will make our communities better, more equitable, safer, resilient places for everyone to live, even our babies. Thank you. Have a great rest of your conference, and I look forward to continuing the partnership with each of you. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity once again to share. And lastly, remember this if you don't remember anything. I love you, and there ain't nothing, no, there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. God bless you all.
He certainly brought the energy. Cuban coffee, anybody? Listen, I'm gonna promise from now on, and I see Jane in the crowd there, she's gonna agree, that we're gonna have a Cuban coffee station, right? Cuban coffee station. Tom, Cuban coffee station going forward. As is our tradition, we want to acknowledge members of our elected leadership for whom this will be their last, unfortunately, annual or winter meeting, in that they will be leaving office. In addition to having been elected to our leadership, all of these mayors have served our organization in multiple ways, and their contributions will continue to make the U.S. Conference of Mayors the premier advocacy and information sharing organization for years to come. So let me call each one of these mayors to the stage so that we can present them with a plaque and take a group photo. I'll start with our outgoing advisory board members. San Leandro Mayor Pauline Russo Cutter, 8 years of service. And our outgoing trustees, Austin Mayor Steve Adler, and Augusta Mayor, Mayor Hardy Davis. I don't know if, is Hardy here? Okay, good. Steve was 8 years of service. Hardy, how many years? 8 years for our Hardy as well. One more, ladies and gentlemen, our 78th President, Louisville Mayor Greg Fisher. Thank you. I also want to mention that two of the mayors that we would have recognized could not be here with us today. Advisory Board member Robert Garcia of Long Beach and Trustee George Elorza of Providence. We will send them their plaques. I think Sam Licardo as well. Again, thank you to all of our outgoing elected leadership, mayors, for your service to the U.S. Conference of Mayors. This breakfast is now concluded. Thank you. We'll be back.